keep my line no more. Oh, oh, you don't make it ring, 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 ring.
Hey guys, it's Asia, the Princess of Variety, and I am back with a new video involving The Sims 4. So there has been this video going around where Simmers in the community talk about the different features and things that they want to see added to The Sims 4 this year. So I kind of want to give my 2 cents and talk about what I want to see added in the game this year. Because if you are someone that's new to The Sims and you just so happen to buy The Sims 4, you might think that the game is amazing. And the game is a good game, but it really isn't good in comparison to The Sims 1, The Sims 2, and The Sims 3. Because I feel like if you have The Sims 4 base game, you need the expansion packs and stuff packs and game packs and mods to make the game fun and give it longevity. Whereas with the other games, you didn't need that as much for what they were at the time that they came out. Because by no means am I saying that The Sims 1 is going to be, far more interesting than The Sims 4. Because The Sims 4 is obviously going to be a lot more updated, which it is. But, there were so many things that were completely obliterated from the game when it was released. I mean, we had pools in The Sims 1, The Sims 2, and The Sims 3. When The Sims 4 came out, we didn't have pools. They added it in an update. We had car pools in The Sims 1, The Sims 2, The Sims 3. When The Sims 4 came out, we didn't have any cars at all. I mean, so there's a lot of things that The Sims 4 just does not have that it should have for what it is and the time it was released. It should have been way better than all of the other 3 games. So that's kind of what I want to touch on today. I've watched other people's videos talking about what they want to see the game get this year, and I've seen a lot of people saying things like, I want to see them add like counters, and I want to see them add, new doors and new staircases and things like that. And I'm just kind of like, those things are cool and whatnot. I mean, maybe that's more suitable for people who are really interested in building on The Sims, because I would love to download, some places from the gallery and have spiral staircases and things like that. But that's not game changing for me. I feel like that's something you look at, and yeah, The Sims can walk up and down stairs, or they can make food on top of a counter, or, they walk through doors. But I want to see some things this year that's going to actually be game changing and change the way we play the game. I mean, there's so many things they can add to the game, and a lot of the things that they can add to the game wouldn't change the game much at all. I want them to add things that is going to change the game. That's what I'm interested in seeing this year. So let's get into it. First thing that I want to see added into The Sims 4 this year, and I feel like some of the Sims developers kind of hinted that they were working on something in this realm, is story progression. I want story progression back. And for those of you that aren't aware of what story progression is, story progression was basically this sort of progressional system in The Sims 3 that would make it so that the Sims that you aren't controlling in the town, so your neighbors, the other Sims in the town that you come across whenever you go to, the library or something, they basically progressed throughout their lives. So they didn't just live and die. In The Sims 4, though, they do live and die. They literally live and die. If there's a Sim that lives in your town that you don't control, that was already in the game, and they're an adult, they then, age up to an elder, and then when they get old enough, they die. They don't do anything groundbreaking. They don't get married or divorced or have kids. They don't do anything. In The Sims 3, however, they did do that. The townie Sims and the NPC Sims, they lived their lives. Like, you could literally be friends with someone across town and visit them like a week later in the game and notice that their spouse is now pregnant or something like that. I would see it all the time in The Sims 3. And for instance, I had talked about this in one of my other videos. If you go watch my what I'd like to see in The Sims 4 video, which I'll link it here and in the description, I kind of talked about this. I had made 2 twins. They were girls. And my twin lived with her husband, and my twin sister, I put her in a town, like not in a town, but in a house across the town. And that girl got a boyfriend on her own. She moved houses on her own. Like, she had moved to this really crappy house. I was like, girl, you broke. Like, what happened? But it was fun. It was so cool, like, going to visit my sister and seeing how her life has changed since the last time I visited her or talked to her. The Sims 4, you don't have that. There was this Sim that I used to be friends with in The Sims 3. It was this guy. He was like a chef or something. I remember he gained weight, which I know they can gain weight in The Sims 4, but he had gained weight. His wife had gotten pregnant when I had visited their house. Like, she wasn't pregnant in the beginning, but when I visited their house later on, she had like a little belly, and then she ended up having the baby later on. Like, you could actually like see that the other people in the town, they had lives, and every time you saw them, it was kind of like something new in their life had happened, and it was so freaking cool. And I know there's mods that you can use in The Sims 4, like MC Command Center, which I use. I feel like The Sims 4 is like crap without it, which it shouldn't be. This is something that was in The Sims 3. Why is it not in The Sims 4? MC Command Center is beyond amazing, but I feel like it would be a lot more smooth if you didn't have to use a mod for that stuff to happen in your game. Like, it would be cool if they put it in the game themselves and MC Command Center kind of expanded on it. Okay, cool. But MC Command Center shouldn't be a complete replacement for what they took out of the game that should have been there in the first place because it was in the previous installment. So yeah, we need story progression. I want my, Sims family members that don't live with me anymore, I want them to have lives and have kids and, do fun things, get married, get divorced. My twin Sim that I was telling you guys about just now, when I moved her across the town and she got a boyfriend, one of them had cheated on each other, I think. And because I think an interaction to tell one of them that they were being cheated on had popped up. Like, it was so cool. And it seemed like the town was alive. So we need that back. The next thing that I want to touch on is something that everyone has been waiting for and a lot of people have been talking about and asking the Sims developers about. It's not something that I'm actually really, really big on, which you guys might actually be surprised about because everybody literally wants this for the most part. This isn't something that's super high on my list, but I think we need cars and carpools back. And if we don't get cars, I feel like we should get carpools. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, that's kind of new to the franchise or just watching this video for fun, in The Sims 1, The Sims 2, and The Sims 3, we had carpools. So whenever your Sim was about to go to work, if they didn't have their own car, a car would pull up and pick them up and take them to work. It was kind of like you had your own little taxi. Whenever it was time for children and teenagers to go to school, a school bus would pull up and honk their horn, and your Sims would have to run out and get on the school bus, and then they would go to school. They wouldn't just walk to the edge of the lot and disappear the way they do in The Sims 4. So I think that's something that we really need. I'm not super big on it, because it's not open world. Sims 4 isn't open world the same way The Sims 3 was. However, this is something that we already had in the game before. Why was it taken out? It doesn't make any sense at all. The next thing that I want the game to get this year is we need some sort of vacation pack. I know we have Outdoor Retreat where you can go camping and whatnot. Okay, everybody doesn't want to go camping every time they go on vacation. We need a Winter Wonderland or a beach of some sort. I'm not super big on the winter thing, but I feel like if we're getting a beach, we need some sort of like place you can go that's really snowy where you can sled and ski and things like that. So I feel like we need that. We need a beachy type vacation spot where you can go swimming in the ocean. You should be able to stay at a resort and go swimming and just meet new people while you're on vacation. Maybe, you make a new friend or you fall in love with someone there. I think that would be super cool to go on honeymoons to the beach or, I don't know, something fun like that. So you don't always have to go to the same places and you can actually go on vacation. And you should be able to run a resort just like we could in The Sims 3. And this is kind of something I just want The Sims 4 to expand on. This is something we already have, but I just really, really like this concept. I'm really into choice-based games. If you guys haven't noticed, I love Life is Strange. I love Detroit. I love Until Dawn. I love games where choices impact gameplay. And The Sims 4 has that. Like, you will get little pop-ups asking you if you want to do this or this at work. And depending on what you choose, something bad will happen at work that'll lower your performance, or something good will happen at work that'll make your performance get higher. There's things you can choose to say to your children. They might ask you like, hey, you know, one of my friends was getting bullied at school. Should I jump in and defend them, or should I tell the teacher? Like, what should I do? And it'll pop up and it'll have you choose what you want to say to your children, and it'll impact how they are when they get older. I love those things about The Sims, and I love how they're integrating those things. Okay, last but not least, and if you guys know me, you knew this was coming. The main and biggest thing that I want this year for The Sims 4, and I'm gonna try to fly through all of these bullet points, dear Lord, is university. University has always been my favorite expansion pack. It's amazing. I love it so much. I have no idea why. It's just so cool to me. And I feel like with The Sims 4, they're either going to do a really, really great job with this expansion pack, or they're really, really going to F it up. And I hope it's not the latter, because I want them to do an amazing job on this expansion pack. Okay? So these are the things that I feel that we need to have in university. And it needs to be an expansion pack. I don't want a game pack. No, I want an expansion pack for university. So we need to be able to choose from different universities to go to. In The Sims 2, I believe you could choose which university you wanted to attend. It wasn't just one, that you had to choose from, or one that you had no choice but to go to. Even if they did one, I feel like that would still be fine, but it would be cool if we could choose. You should still be able to take the little tests to get into university based on your skills. And if you have high skills, then you have more of a chance of getting a scholarship based on whatever major you choose. And if you don't, then you have to pay out of pocket. I feel like that's really cool and realistic. They had that in The Sims 3. I don't remember if they had it in The Sims 2, but I want that back. We should have really, really cool majors to choose from as well. We should have like 10 plus majors to choose from. They need to bring back roommates. Roommates was integrated into The Sims 3 University. And by roommates, I mean you should have the option of living with someone that you can't control. You can't click on them and make them do things. They just kind of live their own lives. And the roommate, if they do add this feature, it should be able to be used outside of the university world. So if I want to, live in a house with my family and have a roommate, or if I'm just a single sim and I want to have a roommate in San Myshuno and live in an apartment with a roommate, you should be able to do that. But they shouldn't be someone that you can control. You shouldn't be able to click on them at all. Kind of like the pets. We can't control the pets, but they kind of do their own thing. That's how roommates should be. They should be way more independent than they were in The Sims 3, especially if they bring back story progression. I feel like story progression could apply to roommates that you live with. That would be really cool. Like if your roommates were able to leave and return to the house as they please, they could go to work and come back home whenever. They could build up their own skills. They could be messy or clean, and have like their own traits and personality. They could invite their own friends and family over. And kind of annoy your sim by doing that. They could ask you questions that we could choose the answer to, kind of like the choices that I was just talking about. We could do that. Like roommates could ask us, hey, can I invite my boyfriend over? And you can like choose what to say, and based on their personality, they could get mad or, be okay with it or whatever. They should be able to go on dates, get pregnant, contribute to the rent. They can get engaged. Maybe they could even fall in love with your sim and propose to them. Who knows? It should just be really independent thing where the roommates are kind of like they're just their own person. It should be really cool. And it would be a complete game changer. And with that being said, we should get roommate matchmaking. So this is something that we could use before we go to university. Like if we wanted to dorm with someone and we weren't going to college with like a sibling or something that we could dorm with a roommate. That would be really cool. And then you could go through like a roommate matchmaking system where it would pair you. You could choose if you wanted to be paired with someone that was like really like you, or someone that was like complete opposite of you, or it could just be random. And it could be like that at home. Like if you wanted to call a roommate matchmaking service and get a new roommate, you could choose like if it's somebody that's like very similar to you, or maybe not so much, or it could be random. I loved how in The Sims 2, you couldn't see in your roommate's dorm rooms unless you went into the room. Kind of like the apartments are on The Sims 4 now. That's how I want the dorm rooms to be in The Sims 4 University. You should still be able to choose how many terms you go. So if you want to go for 1 term or if you want to go for 2 and have like a little winter break in between, that would be really cool. You should be able to live in a dorm, which I've kind of already touched on, but I loved how in The Sims 2, The Sims had their pictures on the dorm rooms. There should be like slots for pictures, and if it's just you can like not upload, but kind of like take a selfie on your phone and like put that as your picture on your door. And if you like room with someone and you have like a roommate in your dorm, both of you guys can like put your picture on the door. That would be so cool if everyone in the dorm room had their pictures on the door. It would be awesome. They should bring back sororities and fraternities. I love that feature. There should be bowling alleys, cafes, the student union, a comic book shop, clubs, restaurants, movie theaters, libraries, and different hangouts for the Sims that go to university. So the university world should have all of these things. There should be apartments you could live in. There should be houses. There should be no rabbit holes, or if there are some, it should be minimal. So I want to see my Sims going to class, like in The Sims 3. I don't remember if in The Sims 2 if you could see them going to class, or I haven't played that game in like forever. But I remember in The Sims 3, some of the classes you could actually see, like the lectures and whatnot. You could actually see your Sim in class, and you could take notes, or you could fall asleep, or whatever. It was really realistic. I want it back. You should be able to study and do homework to succeed. You should be able to like bribe people into going to class for you and like have a chance of getting caught doing it and getting in trouble. That would be really cool. There should be like more drama animations and interactions. Like you should be able to start drama with other Sims you don't like on campus. It should be like more competition. So you should be able to steal people's boyfriends and girlfriends. Not that you can't do that already, but it should be like more interactions geared towards those things in particular. You should be able to spread rumors about different people on campus, and you should be able to see the aftermath of everything play out on campus. That would be really freaking cool. And I feel like the Sims that are in the university, like in the other games when you go to university, the same like young adults would be there. I want to see different people be at the universities. If there's like 3 different ones you can choose from, or even if there's 1, there should be different people in it, should randomize over time. So say your Sim is friends with like a bunch of people in like San Myshuno. That's where they live, that's where they grew up. And then they all go to college. You should see those Sims, if they're the same age as your Sim and they just age up into young adult like your Sim, you should see them at college. You should be able to like dorm with them. It should be like, oh yeah, we grew up together, now we're going to college together. You shouldn't have to like select them to go to college with you. They should just do it automatically. That way, if you have like a bunch of generations of different Sims, whenever your Sims go to university, people their age that they grew up with will be at university as well, if you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, that would be really cool. And we should have graduation. And I'm sure there's many other things that I can think of, and I can go on forever, but I don't want this video to be like 30 minutes long, so I'm going to stop there. So yeah. That's everything that I kind of wanted to touch on. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the comments down below, leave like 8 to 10 things that you would love to see in The Sims 4 this year. Those are things that would be super big game changers for me personally. I mean, if I get university, I'm gonna be content, period, because I love university so much. I always have. But if they F it up and they don't do it in a way that they actually could, because I feel like with Sims 4, they could really make this expansion pack amazing to the point where it's like the best one that they've ever released. But it's like a matter of if they do that or not. So yeah, I really hope they do that. University is my favorite. If I get that, I will be content, even if we don't get everything else. But I feel like these things are doable. I mean, a lot of these things are things that we've already had in the game before anyways. But yeah, definitely comment what you guys want to see in the game this year down below. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Hope tight, girl. You gon' get my hope tight, girl. Just gon' tell me more lies, girl. Just gon' get my hope.